My name is Terna Iwar, and I'm from Benue. Grew up until I was 7 in Benue, and then moved to Lagos. Lived there until I was 17, and then went to school in Ireland. Cold and dreary Ireland. It was great though. I remember buying Kwili for 1 naira coin growing up. It was fun. It was a very carefree. It was a very carefree time growing up. Didn't have to worry. I mean, like the naira was strong. It was so much stronger. At least that's right now. That's what I care about. So those are things I remember. You know, could go out and really have fun and not really care. I remember when my parents were complaining that the naira was 100 naira to the dollar, and so wow, oh my god. But now, we're at, what are we? 550? Yeah, interesting times. Interesting times. I'm a photographer. Primarily, that's my primary skill set. I've been at different points in time, programmer, web designer, done a little bit of architecture. There was a time I was, I didn't pursue that very much. Illustration, but I didn't pursue that. But I've been a lot of things at different points in time. I'm a photographer, well, creative director now, more than photography, mostly because I run a studio and I have to manage lots of projects. But I still love photography, I still love web design, I love beautiful things. Visual aesthetics is what I live and breathe for. Growing up, I always felt like I was a left brain, right brain. I was kind of smack dab in the middle. And a lot of what I did was trying to figure out what exactly bridged that gap. So, in secondary school, for example, I decided I was going to be a science student, but I was still doing arts. And, I did technical drawing, but I still did like food and nutrition. Never did history though. Mistake. I think history is important. But when I got to university, I actually went into university to do engineering, and doing the math and all of that, I started getting more and more into drawing and digital art. And somewhere along the line, I found web design. And at the time, web design was both visually pleasing and technically challenging. And it kind of bridged the gap for me. And for a long time, I did that until I was in my second year in uni and I found this photography. And since then, that's basically what I've been doing. Taught myself most of what I know, and then finished university, did a 1-year course in photography in New York. That was a mind-blowing experience. I think everyone should spend a year in New York. So I've had my life has never been straight. Yeah, so. Bantu was started out of necessity. My brothers and I felt it was necessary to have a place that artists could feel comfortable. There are a lot of places that are artistic but are not for artsy people. You go there and it looks beautiful, but it's just not. There's very specific things that creative people, and when I say creative people right now, I'm being very narrow in that most creative people I have come in contact with are not particularly extroverted. They can be extroverted, but they are not. When they need to work, they need, to be in their space. They need to be constantly filled with inspiration. They need to be filled with other people that enjoy the same things they do. For any business, for anything you're doing, doesn't matter what it is, people have to either want it or not. As long as people need a space, as long as creatives need a safe haven, as long as they need a place to work out of, as long as they need to be able to connect with other creatives in a way that they can't anywhere else. And we in Nigeria love the cool factor. We've never tried to be cool. We just try to provide this specific thing. And as long as people need that, um, we are contributing to society. Well, I grew up to become a city guy, but I'm a farmer at heart. I grew up on the farm, tilling the land. My mom is a vet. She's a veterinary surgeon, or she studied. She no longer practices. She's more of a policymaker now. But I grew up on the farm. Grew up with lots of animals. Grew up in the open fields. Um, there is there is something to be said. There's a lot to be said actually for rural life. Rural life. Uh, there's a lot of contentment and peace that comes with it. You know, right now I love the fast pace of work. I love anywhere that is moving pretty quickly. But if you need to relax, if you need to be insular, if you need to uh, just hide away and reflect on yourself and on the world, there's no better place to be. And especially as a child. I mean, right now we live in a fear society. Everyone is always afraid of everything. Growing up, I there was no fear. I could go anywhere I wanted to. Um, I mean, within reason, but almost like a 2 mile radius. I could just go out as a child, and there was no fear that you would get kidnapped or something untoward would happen. I think that is still available in a lot of these areas. I don't know if anyone would want to live there, but that is still available. You could live free. The world belongs to the young. Sometimes it might seem like it's not true, especially when all the resources are controlled by a lot older people that do not understand the current world. There's always a disconnect between the people in power and what is actually happening on ground. Always a disconnect. And it is the job of young people to make sure that their voices are heard. Voting, I know it might be very jaded. You might be very jaded about voting or making your voice heard. Nobody's going to listen, but it is necessary until everyone decides that my voice is important. What I want to do is important. Nobody's ever going to take you seriously if you don't take yourself seriously. Right now, we live in a world where if you graduate and you're looking for a government job, good luck to you. You're not going to find it. Even if you do, you probably won't be doing anything. Um, you need to create your own work. I personally I believe far more in the value of your portfolio than your degree or where you have worked. That those things mean nothing. What actual work? What have you produced? Whether it's in the arts or it's in agriculture or it's in engineering, what work have you produced? If you're in academia, what document of value, what thesis have you done? There has to be something backing who you are. We live in an internet age. You can learn anything you want online. There is never any excuse to say, oh, life is difficult and so we're going to sit down.